Oh.
Coming through.
Yo!
Alright everyone, let's get this party started! Hope you're ready to hit it!
What? Wait, what just happened? What? How did they learn? How did they learn the date? Alright, I'm not even gonna question it. What? Oh, it's the fucking muscle dude. What are they fucking like air humping? What the fuck? Oh boy. Are they gonna have a muscle off?
There he is! Our challenger for the evening!
What? Wait, why didn't he? Wow, coward. Why didn't he go with the more buff guy?
Welcome to our gilded paradise, the Gold Saucer. Leo, our director. And you, sir, are...
Cloud.
Well, Cloud, shall we duel?
Let's go.
Now, when fate sets us a challenge, we must rise to meet it.
So why didn't he challenge Barrett? Barrett's more jacked.
You can do this, Cloud.
What is the challenge? I'm just gonna accept it.
Second time. And fight.
We call ourselves Phenomenova. Yesterday, the Stormbearers, a deadly group of mercenaries, took control of a nuclear reactor. Before we arrived on the scene, Galvanite, a superpowered teenage boy, attempted to stop them. He failed. His story ended there that day. Ours began shortly after. Today, I sift through the memories of that day. I will put the pieces together, and we will bring those responsible to justice.
Someone says, what's the future? Vaughn Coleman.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. What's going on, guys? So this is my first time using this format with the vertical, but I wanted to give it a whirl, give it a try, because I was streaming with bats, and there actually were some people that were discovering it through mobile. Now I think it looks terrible because they didn't plan for it, but if it gets views, it gets views. What's going on, Doug? Aiden Eustace, how you doing, man? It's good to see you here. Volume, is it still low? Video for ants? Yeah. Yeah, you figured it out. How you doing? We are going to cover. I just felt like streaming this morning, and then I was like, oh yeah, I actually have work to do, and that took a while. And I'm like, you know what? I need to stream more, and I do, and I also need to set up channel memberships. I honestly, the reason I never set them up is I was like, who would pay $2 to watch me? And I'm like, I'm incredible, of course. First of all, I've been eligible. I just never bothered to set up memberships. And now I'm like, I should probably do that. I should also stream more. So I will. That's one of my goals. Is I do want to try and get to a more regular thing. It is the Vaughn Coleman. Dude, this thumbnail is so. I was like, you know what? I should make a thumbnail. Now, if you're expecting a really intelligent, well thought out news show, I was like, I made a list. I'm like, oh, I could talk about this, and this. Now, full disclosure, I know very little about these topics, so we're going to be discovering them together in real time. But first, the one I do know a lot about. Let's just get right into the shilling before we get into the important news. Very important. Let's get into. God, where is it? Phenomenova issue 3, ladies and gentlemen, is I want to get it sent to the printer. I'm pissed. So it was like a domino effect, like because my artist's iPad broke, a tablet, and he was waiting for new ones. I didn't realize that led to like the colorist, something came up that off. So everything, it was supposed to be done by this time, but it is not done, obviously. So, which is unfortunate. But Phenomenova issue 3 is very close to done. The pencils and inks are done. The cover for issue 4 is already done. My artist has begun working on issue 4. My colorist is like, should be turning the last couple pages soon. My letterer has begun. We're trying to get this sent to the printer, hopefully by the end of the year. And it does seem possible. This is the best issue yet, I feel. And I guess part of why I really want this one out so badly is because Phenomenova is finally showing up in Phenomenova. I kind of took the scenic route a bit, and this is definitely my most scenic. The art in this issue is the best. Philip and I are the best we've ever been in this issue. I think it's our best work yet. And then we're just going to keep growing and growing and growing. And I hope you get, and I appreciate every single one of you guys that has supported me. It means the world. And of course, if you back the campaign. So one of the mistakes I made on the last two was I printed more variant covers than I needed. This time around, I know to print less. So that means that these are going to be more rare because I know I can get away with printing less of them than I have now. So make sure you get these. Whatever is left over will be sold for double price at cons until they're gone. And the thing is, I'm going to be going to not only more cons, but bigger cons. And so don't expect these variant covers to stick around if you want them. And of course, guys, if you just want the digital, let me be transparent. Get whatever version you want. Don't feel like you have to spend more money, like to get the physical to support me more. Because here's the thing. The reason the physical is what it is. I wish I could charge the same price physical and digital is I have to print and ship the thing. That's why it costs what it costs. So the truth is I keep roughly similar profit margins. Now, of course, if you buy multiple covers, then I make more, right? But that's the truth behind that. So back what makes you happy, but I always want to make sure that backers, those who support the book that doesn't even exist yet, that you guys are treated well. Of course, all physical backers will get a trading card with this artwork on it right here. I don't think we're going to hit 20K. We're just past 13K. So if by some miracle we hit 20K in the next 2 days, which I doubt, we'll get this trading card. But if not, this will be the day one trading card if you back issue 4 day one. Issue 4 has got some exciting stuff, and I'm really looking forward to it. And another thing I will say is issue 3 is fully funded. So at this point, basically anything that I'm getting from this campaign is going to go into the production of issue 4. And the more I have for issue 4, the more I can feel confident in spending on my business, and the more I feel confident with issue 5. So it's a domino effect, guys. So this is, you're basically now paying. Issue 3 is paid off, but it'll help me advance this going forward. And the tough part is people, well, I'm happy with the first 2 issues. I think people are going to be the most excited for issue 4 after reading the issue 3. This is in some ways my biggest issue of the 8 that I've written, in some ways, in that it is the most superheroes / villains scene. Yes, we will see, like, basically, because we have 4 Phenomenova members and then all of the Stormbearers. I think were there 5 or 6 of them? 5 of them. Well, no, 5 main ones, and then you had the Cloud Troopers. So point is, this is exciting stuff. And I know, just trust me on this, guys. Here's the thing. Everyone's liked it who's read it, but it's weird that it's taken till issue 3 to get to Phenomenova. And then finally, with issue 4, Galvanite is going to meet Phenomenova. Finally, you know, we're really building to that. But, you know, I'm glad that I'm going independent, that I'm able to take my time in this way. And I think it will be worth the wait. My goal whenever I'm working on these is, especially, I'm trying to, so with 2026, I want to try and have faster turnaround times on issues, because I hate having this money sitting in my bank account going, that's not mine. It needs to go to the printer. That's not mine. That's not mine. That's not mine. I'd love to just, Philip and I are trying to move faster. And obviously the more money we have, the more confidently we can move through this. Because the fact of the matter is, if we knew we had a certain amount of money, like the more money we know we have, the faster we can move. And obviously, it's better as a business. You want that return on your investment. You know, if I pay for 28 pages, by the way, the standard starting with issue 4 is going to be 28 pages. But of course, issue 5 is 43 pages of story. So you guys are really going to like this issue. So make sure you guys back if you haven't already. Anyway, I'm sorry for droning on. We have some important news to get into. But make sure, I am going to be doing a closeout party, even if you already backed. On Sunday night, we're just going to have a ton of fun. All right. Everyone hit like. That's right. Everyone hit like. Sabrina Carpenter is a plant. I think she's a person. So I don't know that. You know what's the weird? There's this weird. I guess we'll get into Sabrina Carpenter stuff first. So there's this weird thing. People have pointed it out. I think it is really odd that. Because I think she's a cute chick. I think she's really pretty. But, like, the people that thirst for her the hardest seem to be women, especially straight women and gay men. It's really, like, it's a really weird thing. Like, that's another comparison people have made. I want to get into that. Now, full disclosure, I think they're both attractive, Sydney Sweeney and Sabrina Carpenter. But I think it's a weird thing where, like, there are, like, so many women, like, will post these thirst posts over Sabrina Carpenter, and I don't get it. But, you know, I'm not opposed to seeing pictures of her on my timeline. Now, I don't know a lot about her. I saw a bit of one of her music videos where she and Jenna Ortega are just killing each other, and that was an absurdly entertaining music video. I will say, I don't really watch them. I don't even really fuck with the music that much, but I was like, this is decent. But if you'll notice, I'm quite the expert on Sabrina Carpenter. I have no idea. I don't know. But I found this interesting. So it was a couple of months ago. I think it might have even been a year ago. No, it was when Trump got elected. People were like, I gotta find this. Let's see if because I made a tweet about it. It was the most absurd thing. People were really mad at Sabrina Carpenter, and they're like, why? It's like, oh, she's a conservative. I'm like, she is? And they're like, well, she just didn't say anything against Trump. And it's like, oh, that doesn't, most people don't talk politics on social media. Like, that doesn't, basically because she didn't like come out screaming about Trump, some of her own fans were like going ballistic. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, she literally didn't do. First of all, your job, this is the same thing with me, right? Like, if I speak, that's just like a bonus, but it's not my people. Like, it's your job. No, it's not my job to speak. It's my job to give you the product you pay for. That's it. Sabrina is entitled to whatever opinion she has or doesn't have. But I remember people were like, she might be MAGA because she didn't say anything, which I will say is that there is a pocket of truth to that. Although I know some people who are left-leaning that also don't say anything. But people in the entertainment industry, a lot of the time, if they're very quiet, that means they're either moderate or right-leaning, often. But point is, who fucking cares? Yes, they did the same thing with Taylor Swift. So this is one of the problems I've always had with Hollywood entertainment, is they kind of bully people into activism. And the reason I want to bring that up is because, and this is just me being honest, this Sabrina Carpenter tweet that is everyone's making the rounds about honestly looks like it was written by a PR firm. This doesn't seem like a genuine statement at all. And I just want to be frank about that. So apparently, I haven't even watched the video yet, but apparently, Trump did, was it, yeah, the White House, the White House, I think it's funny, but I don't know how I feel about the White House basically being like a meme account. I feel like, do I think it's funny? Yeah, but like, what? They deleted it. That's breaking news. That kind of derails my segment. I should have watched that while it was up. I went to do some work and I was like, well, it's only reliable sources in this shit. I don't even have the source, so I can't comment on it. Shit. This video is evil and disgusting. Do not ever involve me in my music to benefit your inhumane agenda. I'm sorry. This reads like something like that was given to her. I feel like Hollywood has lost all political influence when it comes to the general public, but maybe I'm not paying attention. I don't know if I'd say that. I think to some extent it's lost a lot of influence. But it has enough, and you got to understand, like, the people hiring you, the people and the most outspoken people that tend to like cancel the most over political views tend to be, and I don't even, when I say like, I want to be clear, like most people who lean, like, I'm not talking like normal liberals. I'm talking like specifically, and not even necessarily all far, like specifically just the most whiny people tend to be the most outspoken about screaming every time someone does something they don't like, and people listen to them. And when you need to realize is these people don't they spend most of their time whining, but I don't think they're that big of an influence in terms of finance, like, you know. Now everyone is just shitting on her in the comments. This picture is so fucking funny. Sorry, I didn't expect that. All professionalism here. This is what it reads like to me, if I'm being honest. I think she has a very young audience. It's very impressionable, and it's currently among young people. You scroll through TikTok. This is how they all talk on TikTok. You know, I just think this was her pandering to her young audience. I truthfully don't even know if she's a very political person. You know why I say that? Because look at how little she tweets about this shit. And then suddenly she gets hyper political out of nowhere. You know what I mean? I think it's weird, but I think it is. I think part of it is, dude, like Sydney Sweeney literally just was like, I don't want to answer that question. I don't want to go into this. And they were like, she's a white supremacist, whatever. And I think they're like, Sabrina, you gotta just do the talking points, honey. Look at everyone screamed at Sydney Sweeney. Sydney Sweeney didn't even say anything, by the way. She literally was just like, I don't want to say anything. It's like they literally are like, you have to conform to these views and you have to speak this specific set of talking points. And if you just refuse to speak, you're whatever. They put words in your mouth. And it's infuriating. Like, what if I just don't want to say anything? And again, I'm not some political expert, but I do know I've dealt with this. I remember one time I was writing a script and they were like, well, what are you trying to say, like, in terms of socio-political stuff? And I was like, I don't know. I'm just kind of writing it. And they were like, well, if you're not doing anything political, that's being pro-status quo, and that is being political. And I'm like, all right. It's like you can't win. And it's annoying, dude. It's like, because most people don't want that. But that's what I think. This is really like a nothing story. And maybe I'm totally wrong, and this is how she truly feels, but that's how it reads to me. Also, you got to capitalize the T. This is editor Vaughn coming in here. You got to capitalize the T. Just saying. Just saying. Come on. Now, was the video evil or disgusting? It could have been. I was genuinely going to have an authentic on-air reaction. But that's gone. All right. So now some news, another subject that I know even less about, and this was kind of surprising. Dude, so for context, one of the biggest studios through like all of Hollywood history has been Warner Brothers. And then Netflix, do you guys remember when Netflix was just like the people? I remember I was at one friend's house who was like, have you heard of Netflix? I'm like, what's that? They're like, they mail you a DVD and you get to keep it as long as you want. Instead of Blockbuster, we have to give it in 2 weeks. And I was like, that's crazy. And now those guys own fucking Warner Brothers. On one hand, I will say that it is inspiring as like an indie creator, that it's like you can really go crazy. On the other hand, it's like, dude, so wait, DC Comics is owned by Warner. So does Netflix own DC? Is this confirmation of the Trump and Sabrina affair? Dude, all right, so for the thumbnail, if I had more time and I had more talent, but I literally threw this together at the last second because I was like, you know what? I haven't streamed in a while. I was gonna, if someone can make this so there's this album cover where she's gotten her hair held. If you could make it, but it's a guy in a suit. If someone could edit that so it's Trump holding her hair, it'd be so fucking funny. But anyway, so I know nothing about this deal. I literally saw it on my timeline. We're gonna find out about this together. But Netflix owns Warner Brothers. This is crazy, dude. So like they're taking because isn't Warner Brothers Discovery? What the hell, man? This is nuts. And there's all these. All right. All right. The fucking meme. This is crazy. I just like. So what does that mean? Does that mean because hang on, wait. No, HBO Max is obviously HBO. HBO isn't Warner Brothers, is it? Because isn't a lot of Warner Brothers stuff on? It is, right? Isn't there a lot of? Wait, yeah, isn't HBO Max run by under Warner Brothers? It totally is because the Penguin was on. So that means the two best streaming services, HBO Max and what the fuck? So Netflix owns like everything, and Netflix is building somewhere in New Jersey. It'll be open in like 2 years. That's crazy, dude. You gotta understand, like the Hollywood studio system. I think it was the big three or big five. It was the big five. One of the big five studios in Hollywood. It was always Warner Brothers. Like, this is so crazy to me. How many of them are left? It's just nuts. It's insane. So the big five back in the day were Universal. No, all right, so it's different then. But the original, it was the big five and the little three. So the big five originally were RKO. They went under first. MGM, Paramount, Warner Brothers. So MGM went under too. 26. Holy shit. Okay, so like for context, so the big five, because I learned about this in film school, the big five were Paramount, Warner Brothers, RKO, who did, I think Citizen Kane was RKO, pretty sure. Metro Golden, so MGM, and 20th Century Fox. So 20th Century Fox is now owned by Disney, who wasn't one of the big five. MGM, I think MGM was bought by Disney too, wasn't it? And then Warner Brothers, this is crazy. Like, this is insane. Now, I wonder, like, I guess we don't know much about how. Let's go ahead and click this article, boys. Let's see. Because I know very little. I know some of you in the audience probably know more than me. I know absolutely nothing about. I'm totally shocked. I was so out of the loop. Transaction unites Warner Bros. Iconic franchises and story libraries with Netflix's leading entertainment service. Blah blah blah. Today, Netflix and Warner Bros. Will have announced they have entered a definite agreement under which Netflix will acquire Warner Bros., including its film and television studios, HBO Max, and HBO. See, I heard years ago, because Netflix was raising its prices, and I had heard years ago that it wasn't doing well. But I don't know how true that is. Obviously, it's not true at all. Let's see. The acquisition. A lot. All right, so whole DC Universe. So the DC Universe is going to be on Netflix. This is fucking crazy. Our mission has always been to entertain the world. By combining Warner Brothers' incredible library of shows and movies from timeless classics like Casablanca and Citizen Kane to modern favorites like Harry Potter and Friends, with our culture, so they have RKO as well then, because RKO I think Casablanca and Citizen Kane, at least one of them, with their culture defining titles like Stranger Things, K-pop Demon Hunters. Haven't seen that, or Squid Game. I haven't seen Squid Game either. We'll be able to do even better. Together, we can give audiences more of what they love and help them find the next century of storytelling. All right. So this is just a lot of stuff. More opportunities. So this is just Netflix expects to maintain current operation and build its strength, including theatrical releases. Okay. I never saw Frankenstein, by the way. Guillermo's Frankenstein. Heard it was good. Juju Berry. What's up, Juju Berry? Wait, Berry? Are you new? Are you? This is weird. There's like two separate streams. Hold on. How do I look in the I don't know, the other one? I will have to watch it. Yeah. I think like I don't know. It's weird. It's so seems like there's more and more monopolies, which okay, that's in one way that's good. But I also how is this going to affect the comic industry like DC and Marvel? I wonder. I think personally, I do wonder. And how can Vaughn Coleman capitalize on this? We don't know. I can't imagine Netflix really giving that much of a shit about comics. I really can't. I feel like they'll be, but again, you're gonna see. So wait, what happened? So when Discovery came in, Zaslav came in over DC, and now over DC we have. This is all odd. I don't know what to make of it. I really don't. But yeah, I guess ultimately we've kind of I kind of went through the subjects. I don't think we know everything, obviously, but it's gonna be weird. I agree. I agree. I'm not particularly excited about but like let's not pretend like Warner Brothers has been handling everything great also. I think Hollywood in general, and not even just Hollywood, because we've seen the comic industry doing it too, are not handling characters well. And I think to Aiden's point, Hollywood losing its political influence. Maybe I think it comes down to a whole lot of bullying. Is really what this comes down to, and social pressure. Most people are just afraid to say anything because they don't want to deal with the backlash. It has nothing to do with whether it's right or wrong. And that's the reality of it. The reality of it is, and that kind of brings me to, recent events, obviously, I think, September, getting into this because I want to talk about something I have planned on somewhere I'm going. I think Charlie Kirk's murder really opened a lot of people. Seeing how many people never took a step back and said this is crazy, and seeing how many people cheered, and 42% in a recent poll of people my generation, 42% of liberals, which is crazy to me, said that it was kind of justified. And I saw so many people I knew personally that would like do these weird posts like, no, I'm not going to mourn him. No, I don't like it. No, whatever. Why would you say anything then? Like, it's just basic human decency. They don't see you as human. And again, I'm not a hyper political person, but I see it forced everywhere. I really do, especially in entertainment. And it's a problem. It's a problem. I will, however, I don't know, that sparked something in me. I'm going to be at America Fest, Turning Point America Fest in a few weeks. So that'll be a fun trip. We'll see. Who knows? Maybe I'll be like, okay, at least basically I want to go to meet up with some people, and we'll see. Stop loser. Kidding. How you doing, Justin? So that's going to be a ton of fun. There's going to be a lot of cool people there. Hopefully I can get some books in some people's hands, or at least show some people, network a bit. More importantly, just have fun. That'll be great. It'll be a fun time. Now, so in updates, again, like I want to just remind everyone, Phenomenova issue 3, I'm hoping to move faster going forward. I'm really trying, guys, but, and that's why, like, seriously, faster production times are objectively better for business because, you want your return on investment, obviously. But you also want it to be good, right? But Phenomenova issue 3 will be worth, I'm sorry you have to wait a little longer, but I'm trying to get it done. Like, it should be done this month and then shipped out. I'm going to try and have it shipped as early in January as possible while maintaining quality. I'm already having my letterer has already begun starting lettering. And issue 4 is already beginning. The more you guys fund this, the faster you can move through issue 4. I hope to have that in your hands. Also, I will be I don't know if I want to share exactly everything yet, but I will be at MegaCon next year. I'm trying to go to as many shows as I can. I really want to get my IP out as far as possible and get as many books out as possible. But obviously, you know, I got to make sure that I'm not just spending everything I have, that I have some money. That's the God's honest truth. And yeah. So make sure to stay up my email list. Reapers in Pursuit, I'm not sure where we're at. Allie's been, you know, very busy, but we'll see. I was hoping to have that done. Things are going to happen. We've got multiple. 2026 is going to be a very, very, very big year for Rebel Oasis. So I've been doing a lot of writing and networking and planning behind the scenes. So a lot of the fun work, the writing, I've written more than ever this year, but also a lot of the annoying behind the scenes running calculations kind of work, right? And so that's probably part of why I haven't been streaming as much. I do want to get back on a regular schedule. I think it's important. And I do miss you guys. You know, the truth is I've been networking more than ever, but then I haven't brought them anywhere to go. I've been going to everyone else. And so I am trying to network a bit more and, you know, entertain people a bit more. And I have a lot to talk about. I am next Sunday. I should be doing a stream if anyone wants to come on, talking about Stranger Things 5. I can talk about it briefly here. I liked it. A lot of people hated it. It was weird. Well, I don't know about hated it, but a lot of people were just clowning on it. I do understand there's one scene in particular. I do understand why some people are clowning on it. I get it. I do. But I still like it. I think the best. We'll see how good this season is. I'm hoping it's good. But yeah, I want to go faster. I'm also curious, would you guys like, if I were to do more limited print runs and do mostly digital, because I think I'm going to transition to, because my goal ultimately is to get volume, right? Get bigger volumes, especially I'm looking at manga, right? People read that in volumes and they'll read chapters online and then wait for it to come out physically, at least in America. That's kind of how I want to do it. Yeah, it's in Shonen Jump or whatever, but I don't have access to that. However, I have gotten like some distribution offers. I'm just not sure if it's profitable. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just, because you have to think about it, you have to get the price so low and then sell so many. So the sister has an imaginary friend that there's a 0 red flag. Well, it did. Butt sauce. It was they literally had a meeting with the teacher because it threw up red flags. What are you talking about? It absolutely had a red flag. That's why the teacher called the. Oh, you mean with the parents? That the parents weren't concerned? Maybe they were, but they weren't. What do you mean? Explain. I just think you're hating on women. You just don't want to see a good woman succeed or something. Also, if any of you are in Pennsylvania, I am going to be at Lehigh Valley Comic-Con tomorrow for one day. So make sure to come by and say hi. You know? What the characters actually know about the Upside Down? I mean, I don't think they really knew. Did they? Did they know? I don't know. I don't think they really were paying attention to her, were they? Oh, okay. They did. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't that important to them. I don't know, dude. You know what I mean? I don't know. I am uncertain on this matter. So I kind of went through everything really that I want to talk about, I guess. It's weird. I'm trying to figure out like new IPs that excite me. And I'm always waiting for some fucking rug pull. And that's the honest to God truth. Stranger Things personally, so I think that Robin is handled well. You know, I do. I think they handled her like being lesbian well. But I think Will is they're finally getting it together because I think the way it felt, and apparently the actors actually gay, but the way it felt is after season 2, they were like, "What do we do with Will? He's gay. That's it." And it was like, okay. Mike also went from like the GOAT. He was like the main character. He's been an afterthought for so long, dude. Mike is like a nothing character. Like, it's weird how Steve became like one of the most integral. Also, they haven't really killed off a major character. Have they ever? Like, Eddie wasn't as a major new character in season 4, but that's because they felt like they didn't want to kill anybody. Personally, I think. Oh wait, if no one's seen it, then no one's. We don't have to talk. Blood Sauce, if you want in next Sunday, we could talk about it. But yeah. My brother and sister were like, do they think the imaginary throne is a bad thing after she got taken? Oh. Yeah. Imagine having imaginary friends instead of real one. Couldn't be me. Couldn't be me. I'm not a loser like her. All right. Yeah, I mean, one of the things I want to do, I just want to talk about entertainment I like, have people. I feel so bad. I've been so busy. I owe so many people promo streams, and I just haven't been doing it, man. But let me ask you guys, would you guys, if I switch to a mostly digital model, eventually is my plan with like the occasional trade. Like what I do, I'll tell you my plan for right now. My plan is because right now all I have is single issues, is to get to volumes and then do like limited print runs of each issue. Like, okay, here we go. Like, kind of like the comic shop, honestly. You know what? Honestly, like in a digital way, in an indie way, kind of replicate the feel of the comic shop, where it would be like, all right, you have like a week or so, or however long, to get your books. They're gone, okay. And if you missed it, you have to find it online. That's what I've done. I miss a monthly issue, which I usually do. It incentivizes you. You got to go to the shop, and then if you miss the monthly issue, shit. All right, I'll read it online then, or I'll read it on Global Comics, and I'll wait for the trade. I think that's because my goal ultimately, listen, if people are willing to pay extra for the printing and shipping, that's fine. But it's all another thing too. I'll tell you this, like the Kickstarter stuff, I'm good at it. I want to keep doing it, but just in the amount of time it takes, people want something to be done. When I start explaining to people, oh, when's the next one coming out? Yeah, it's crowdfunding right now, and then it'll be out. I think like having more stuff online is good. But obviously I have everything I have on the table until eventually I'd love to be at a point where I have too much to be on the table. Like if let's say I get to volume 1 and then I have an issue and it's sold out. I'll be like, you can get it on my website digitally right now. After this. And you want to give people more reason to follow you is one of the things I've learned. Not follow the Kickstarter, not follow, like me specifically or Rebel Oasis. And that's kind of what I want to do. And really grow that, And eventually I'd love to be hiring more creators too. Like the more I grow, I want to be helping others directly, right? It's kind of what I want in the end. And we'll see. Maybe one day I'll buy Warner Brothers. First order of business. Let's see. I don't know. I don't think about it. What I would do. It's so weird. The time we're living in. And it's like there's so many IPs that I love and adore. But I'm not necessarily excited for them all the time. Chainsaw Man was great. great, dude. I really like that movie. I am gonna read the manga for sure. But Japan can't keep beating us in every regard. We got to do some stuff that's good. And you know what? Something else I want to do is I want to do some stuff based on H.P. Lovecraft's works, man. I've read almost all of his complete fiction at this point. Almost everything. Even read, so cosmic horror, I would argue, actually was born not with Lovecraft stuff, but there's a story that came out before him called that. He said, this is the scariest story I've ever read. And he was like, this is what I think inspired him to go full cosmic horror. It's kind of proto-cosmic horror. You can even argue it is the story called The Willows by Algernon Blackwood, which is why, actually, if you read the Call of Cthulhu, it opens with a quote from Algernon Blackwood, because his writing inspired him so much. The Willows is good as hell. And let me know, guys, by the way, if there's any cons you want me to go to. So here's the thing. I'm trying to take more calculated risks. So last year I played it pretty safe with cons. And then towards the end of the year, a lot of misses, a lot of hits. My goal now is to try and hit as many big shows as I can. And we'll see. We'll see how I can make that work. Actually, that's not true. I'm hitting a fair amount of smaller shows because, I'm still not producing at that level yet. Once but there's a few big ones I'm going to be doing. Like I said, I'll be at MegaCon. I'll be at Denver Fan Expo. That'll be a good one. There are some others. I've got con streaming. We'll see. You know what I will do at MegaCon? Because here's the thing: when I'm at the shows, if any of you have ever seen me on a show, I am an aggressive salesman. It's one of the few moments I get my ADHD under control, is because I'm just trying to move as many comics as possible. And that's one thing I will say. A lot of people that don't do well at cons, it's usually because they don't pitch, man. I've had multiple times. There are 2 separate times. I've had people come up to my show, Oh, how are you so well? Oh, you got to do this. You got to pitch people. I don't want to do that. Okay. Dude, here's the thing. You can have a cool looking book and all. You'll get maybe a couple customers. You have to really bring people in. And that was something I was taught because I had Renee Witterstetter. I worked at Michael Golden's booth, and he's, an industry veteran. Doesn't matter. Most people, when they're walking around a con, you'd be surprised. Most people still don't know who, no matter how well you are known, they still don't know you. You have to be getting people. They called me over. He's the co-creator of Rogue. Oh, he is? And then I'll get some Rogue stuff signed. Buy my book or house. That could work. That's one of the things, too. And that's one of the tough parts about crowdfunding. One of my grievances. I think it's a beautiful thing, but, there are better. Let's be honest, it's more convenient for the customer. When I wanted to read this book, all right, right here. You know what I did? I went to the store and I bought it. That's it. I spent the money and now I have it. Crowdfunding. Oh yeah, you'll get the book, or I might even run away with your money. I might even, or even just taking 5 years. You might not even want the book by the time it comes out. Or you might not. It's not even that. It's you want a return on your investment, whether you're in twofold, whether you're the one creating it, like me, I want my own books to come out faster, or you want the customers, you want a return on your investment, right? And that's part of why eventually the thing is I'm crowdfunding because I don't, feel that I have the secure funds, and people are still used to the crowdfunding model. But I want to always have something new. And I also, to be honest, I have stories in me that are just screaming to get out. And next year, I want to tell as many of those stories as I can. And they're getting better. That's the thing, too. So, it kills me, for example. Okay, Phenomenova issue 1 came out 2023. It kills me for how much writing and how much work I did this year with Reapers in Pursuit, with Phenomenova issue 3, with I Can Fix It, which is coming out. The only thing that came out this year is the book that I launched in January. That kills me. What's up, Dawn? Yeah, sorry, I gotta. Been a man since I caught you. Yeah, because I'm not going on. Congrats in your success thus far. Always rooting for you, kid. Same to you, Don. Yeah, I gotta do this. Any good stories about anyone from Australia? Is that am I missing something? Someone from Australia, like Bancroft? Captain Boomerang? I don't know. Is there a reference there I'm missing? I don't know. All right, yeah, but Austria. Oh, Austria, duh. All right. I deserve that. I deserve that. I deserve the roasting. Yeah, actually, we got some. So there's this hack that I'm having write a story for me. So no, I'm kidding. I do. So Bats actually, after Heroes Con, pitches me this book. And I got to tell you guys, now, for the record show, I hate bat sauce. I'm kidding. I don't actually hate bat sauce. But his script is really good. Of course, my editing helped. Of course, without my editing. But no, it is. I'm really excited for this book that we're working on. So Phenomenova, the world's going to get bigger. And that's really exciting. And that's the thing, like issue 3, the world opens up and the world's going to keep opening up. But I always want to make sure you care about the characters. You know, I don't want to be one of those books where it's just 1,000 cool ideas that you don't care about any of them. And that's why I started personal before I go out bigger. And I'm excited to see things are going to go. Well, hold on. I got a message from my artist just now. Dang. All right, 1 second. Sorry, I was responding to something. Oh, well, got around. Yeah, I do got to get on this. Dude, I missed it every single time. I've been going like crazy. Happy belated Thanksgiving. Happy early Merry Christmas. Same to you, Dawn. Yeah, no, I do got to get on the studio. I have been just on cons like crazy. I'm going to be at tons of cons, which is why I don't know how many Friday, Saturday shows I'm going to even be able to do, but I'm going to try and do whatever I can. Maybe there might even have to be some cons where I'm like, sorry, guys, I got to go after the show. I got to go on a live stream. You know, I might even do that because normally I'll go out to dinner with someone or whatever. But yeah, we'll see. But this is going to be a fun, hard-working year. I'm trying to get a lot of, like, you got to understand, when I keep my head down, I'm getting a lot of work done. And my hope is that it pays off next year. That is my biggest hope, is that everything I'm doing, everything I'm working on, that it all pays off next year. Now, I have a con to get to tomorrow. I got to wake up early. So I think I am going to call it. Wow, this has been a short stream. See, I used to stream longer. I don't know, but I guess I'm just feeling tired. But thank you guys so much. And make sure you check out the merch store as well for Phenomenova. And keep your eyes out. And if you're not on the email list, make sure you do so. I've just had a lot going on in my personal life, a lot of work, and I'm trying to figure out a way to keep this train going because I know we just keep hammering away. We're going to get some good stuff, but I got to be smarter about the strikes I make and how often I make, whatever. Anyway, you get the point. See you guys and have a great rest of your night. Peace.
We call ourselves Phenomenova. Yesterday, the Stormbearers, a deadly group of mercenaries, took control of a nuclear reactor. Before we arrived on the scene, Galvanite, a superpowered teenage boy, attempted to stop them. He failed. His story ended there that day. Ours began shortly after. Today, I sift through the memories of that day. I will put the pieces together, and we will bring those responsible to justice.